So I have a craving for cinnamon buns. And because I'm very careful and I budget the sugars that I do eat, I am using today, I am going to make a little treat and I am going to use Jaggery. I buy mine from the East Indian store. It's fairly cheap and it's a lot less sugar content than the normal brown sugar that you would buy. So I've got raisins, I've got some sultana raisins I'm going to put in. I have some extra virgin olive oil. I have my Bisquick, and you can use this for a lot of things. You can make tea biscuits, you can make cinnamon rolls, you can make banana bread, you can make all sorts of things with particularly one package because it is only me. So one package. So what I'm going to do is I have my big bowl. I'm going to see if I can turn this down so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I have the Bisquick. I'm going to put it in my container. All you need is a half cup of water. And I am going to put a little bit of olive oil in there. Just a little bit of olive oil. Then my spatula. I'm just going to squish it around and I'm going to make a batter out of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some flour to it so that I can roll it out to make myself some nutmeg cinnamon rolls. So I'm going to put a little bit of flour on. So I'm going to take a little bit of flour and put a little bit of flour in there because I'm going to have to use my hands. So we'll see how this goes. We'll make it into basically a bread roll. And then I'm going to roll it out and I'm going to do the same thing you would do if you were making cinnamon buns. So it's just an easier way to do it. And you know, if you're on a budget and you want a treat, and I've been very, very good lately with my sugars and my salts. And you know, today I want a little bit of a treat. So you basically just make it into a ball. Just like you would do if you were making ordinary bread. So, I mean, basically you can do this with just flour and baking powder, right? Flour, baking powder, and 1 egg. But it's a lot easier when you have the Bisquick mix because it's easier to, it's easier to prepare and it's not such a big kerfuffle, right? Anybody who's a baker knows that it takes a lot of energy to kind of get moving on making cinnamon buns. So, okay, so now I'm going to put some flour down on my cupboard. And I'm going to take the dough and I'm going to roll it out. Just as if you were making, cinnamon rolls, like basically just plain old cinnamon rolls. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to flour my rolling pin. And the rolling pin I got from a thrift store. Okay, so I'm just going to roll it out. Now don't forget, it's just me. So that's all I'm going to do is just roll it out. Don't forget, it's only one thing. Okay, so now it's only one thing of Bisquick that I'm using. So now what I've done is I have preheated my oven, but I've melted some butter, okay? And I also bought these little basting brushes from the dollar store. So I'm just going to slather the top of the rolled piece of dough with some butter. And it actually is called ghee. It's called ghee because whenever you melt the butter and the liquid that forms and separates from the milk solids, that's called ghee. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slather the top of it with ghee. Okay. Then comes the tricky part. Then comes the tricky part. So I've got some jaggery. Okay, I just got to get a spoon to break that up. So then I'm going to put down the sugar, well, the jaggery. And I'm just going to can you see that? I'm just going to cover the top layer with the jaggery. Just like that. Okay, so now it's kind of solid. So I'm going to put a little bit more of the spices. I have pre-mixed nutmeg and cinnamon together, and I'm going to sprinkle that on top. So I've got a little bit more here. So there's different types of spices that are anti-inflammatory, and this would happen to be one of them. And then some cinnamon. So then we're going to put some more cinnamon on. Okay. I wish I had some nuts, but I don't. I don't have any nuts. So. Okay, now I'm going to put some raisins. And I'm going to put raisins because raisins are full of iron, right? So I'm trying to get my supplements from my food. So I'm just going to put some raisins. And this is from dollar store. Everything here that I've used is all from the dollar store, except for the butter. Except for the butter. Okay, so I think that's enough. You can see that? Okay. So now I'm going to show you what I'm going to use. Now, I could use this square pan. I could use this, and I could also use, I will show you this. And this is basically what I'm going to use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to slather it with some of this. These brushes are like a godsend. And then I'll just put a little bit of flour on it. And, okay, so that's all ready. Now don't forget, this is just for me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to roll it. Now I could roll it this way, but I'm going to roll it this way. Okay, so we're just going to roll it. Oh, that's all we're going to do. Just going to roll it. I'm going to pinch the edges, and we're just going to roll it. Just like that. Then I'm going to push the edges in to kind of close them up so that I don't have a big mess. Okay. All right. I'm going to make sure that I flute the edges so that it's all kind of stuck together. Now you don't have to cut it, right? You can just roll it up and put it in a ball and then put the whole thing in here. Like just roll it around, put it all around the outside. But I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it. Okay, so I have my sharp knife. And I'm going to try to make them so that they're not coming up over the edges. So, and then I'm just going to press it down just like that. Now there will be some um, sugar that falls out, but I'm just going to put it on the top, so that's no big deal. Nothing gets wasted. Nothing gets wasted. One will fit in the middle. I'm going to take this because I don't like to waste, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on the top. Just like that. So it will basically cook. So there you go. That's it. And then we're going to put it in the oven. And that's how I'm going to make my little snack for today. Now I haven't eaten my one meal. I don't eat my one meal until 2 o'clock. And so this is going to be a little snack for later, but I'm going to have to budget it, make sure I only have one, which is going to be hard to do, but I am definitely going to give it a try. So I'll show you when it's cooked. I'll be back shortly. So it takes 10 minutes, and I am going to have to let it cool down for a while. However, I made one extra one, so it turned out really good. The bottom is cooked real well, so I made it in that, the little piece that was left over. But this, it looks like it's burnt, but it's not. That is the leftover cinnamon and nutmeg that I sprinkled on the top. So we're going to open this up so you can actually see how good it tastes. We're going to take a piece off. I'm just going to put a plate on top and basically dump it upside down. Okay, so let's take a piece off. Okay, you see? Turned out pretty good. So I need a small plate. So we have a small plate. Yeah, I'm going to have a hard time staying away from this. Okay. It's hot. It's hot. So it basically comes off, but comes off in a nice, clean little chunk. A little bit of butter, and it is going to be amazing. So actually, I think I might have some butter. Might try some butter on it. Because we do have some butter. So let's see. It'll be a lot better though when it's cooled down, but I just couldn't wait. Bellissimo. Bellissimo? It's so good. A cup of coffee will go amazing with this. So I haven't eaten my one meal yet. So I kind of cheated and I took my snack before my meal. So I'm going to have to be very vigilant that this will be the only cinnamon bun I have today. Keep my fingers crossed. I shall see you on the next video. The good Lord be with me.